Hey everybody, I'm Yara. This is going to be different from very useful VR cases that we already saw. I'm a designer and technologist, and I teach within the architecture and urban design department, which falls under the School of Art and Architecture. So I hope this is a joyful break from very important topics that we've been discussing. I thought today I would present virtual herbaria, which is an XR class I've taught at UCLA, at UCL, which is a school in the University College of London, and I've taught in a few other places, which I think students have enjoyed. And I really understand this class as an introduction to XR for people who have no clue how to do anything. So it really starts from my, sorry. Yeah, I'm short. So I'm really gonna start from my practice because it's a project I've developed through the practice and brought into my teaching, which is something I do quite a lot. So what you see on the screen are images from a residency I did in the south of France. This is the full university name. But it was really a proposal to create an app for tourism around the flora of this, how do you call this? Cannes, the French Riviera. Sorry, it's different in France, in French. But yeah, the French Riviera. So yeah, let me take you through it. So what is a herbarium? Some of you might not know, but it's basically a data archive for dead plants. But this is how we archive our flora. It looks like the room you see there. So it's a bunch of paper and a fire. It's a terrible place because you would lose everything. But it's a place you don't really visit, right? It's a place I've never been into, even though I love flowers and I would be interested in them. It's a place that's pretty, special and delicate that you wouldn't have access to. And this is the online herbaria that Joshua Tree or Mojave Desert National Park has, where you can go online and pick different area and look at different plants and shrubs and specimens that exist in the desert. So my idea was that this is a very cool experience, but it's not a spatial experience. And coming from an architectural background, I'm really interested in bodily spatial experience, which is why XR is so close to what I do, because it's basically moving in space and understanding how space could have multiple layers. So this is the map of all the different blue points, is where you can see an augmented flower. And what I went is I went to all of these botanical garden and decided on a few flowers that I thought were very specific and were very interesting for the region, because most of the flowers along that coast are actually imported, so they're not native. But I think also it's a way of questioning, what does it mean, a native plant, when it's been there for a very long time, and how does it accommodate to the new weather with climate change? A lot of the weather pattern have changed. So anyways, I documented the plants, digitalized them. So what you see on the pink background is a digital version of the real plant that you see on the left. And it's created this catalog of digital plants. And you can see on the top right of each of these images, there's like a triangle rotated in different size and different points. And these are all codes that in the app would tell you about the plants, its origin, how it grows, and so on. And it has two versions. It has an AR version and a VR version. This is screenshot from the AR app, where these QR codes are only for, it's geolocated, so it's specific to the area. You need to be there to turn it on. But we did another one for CalArts. So if you go to CalArt campus, you can try that one. But basically you augment the flower in specific places, and it plays a bit like Pokemon Go. So you see the flower, you catch it, and then you can read the detail on the map. You can see my hands holding the iPad that is showing that. And there's also a VR version, which is you designing your own garden. Last time I taught here, I presented the immersive spectrum, and where you can change the spaces and be in the spaces at the same time is ranks higher on the immersion spectrum. And this is really you can do your own garden, you can water it, you can grow these plants. And you can see different people trying it. So these are real screenshots from the plants in the app. So it's pretty high resolution. And my idea was and these are in different places. Yes, I went to the beach a lot. I had a beautiful time there, but I also produced this project. And the idea was like, how can I take this very fun and easy exercise and make it in a way that's digestible for our students to get into this field and to realize that you don't really need a background to be able to do that. So this is the CalArts version that I mentioned. We were there for the Vision 2030 2 years ago. And you could go around the campus and catch all of these different flowers, as you can see here. Okay, you got it. So I took this and I apply it to my teaching. And I teach this to our grad students, and they really don't know how to use Unity, modeling software, or understand texture or UV maps, nothing. Okay, I could teach this to any of you, to everybody, kids, adult, it doesn't matter, because it really goes through the whole workflow. We start with generating new flowers using text-to-image AI tools, and then they learn how to design with Blender, how to use material, texture, how to animate them, how to add lights. I know it's technical, but this is a teaching institution. So, and this is all the different results that students have had over the years. And yeah, and on the left, you can see the plants animated and lit. So we do a wall full of them, and what you see on the right is all of them augmented and moving in front of them. So it's a way of bringing to life the data archive that I showed you earlier that looked in a pretty dead room. So these are different examples. We work with Unity. So this was the AR workflow, and what you see in Unity is the VR workflow. So that this is a 2-week workshop, by the way. The second part of the VR is you inhabiting this place. It's either a video game where you're a character and you use it on your PC, or it's a VR version where you get to go into that world and to plant flowers, put water, and you can also get to see this plate above it that tells you all these all these scientific information as you see it floating here on the right. This is an example of one of the years. Everything you see on the screen is done by students under 2 weeks. Yeah, you can change the sunset, daylight. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. Tanvi?
Yes, we get Tanvi set up. Any questions for Yara? Yes.
Thank you.
I'm a curious guy. To what lengths are you going? I mean, I assume these are being modeled by hand. To what lengths are you going for accuracy? I mean, can you like zoom in on details? Are they using real textures that you captured, or I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, that's a great question, actually. So when I teach it, they're really new to that whole world. So the idea is not to scare them. So it's very easy. They can put simple colors. If you zoom in, there's not a lot of detail, and they model them digitally. But if I were to teach that class like on longer run, then I would do like I do in my practice, where everything is high resolution. It's based on the real material that we 3D scan. We use Gaussian spatter to like actually have the real, effects on it. And we also detail so well these plants, you can get really close up to them. But that's really a level of expertise. So I get these students, they're really new to everything. So by the time we get to what you saw, I'm really happy with the results. But in a longer run, if I had more time, yeah, I think we could get into these details. Thank you for your question.
Yeah. I have another quick question. I'll just shout, but yeah, just curious how I guess have you reached the maximum limit of the number of flowers you can put in a scene in Unity, or
Actually, this is a fantastic question. So this whole workshop, because it's XR work, it's based on low poly count. So what they learn to model is they learn to model in low poly. So it's not like they're just learning to model, they're also learning how to be efficient and how to have the smallest size model. So we can have, I have like 70 students in there so that everybody can fit and it runs smoothly. And, we go through a bit of coding and how to make it a bit more efficient. So yeah, you're right. There's a lot of, that's the question I would ask.
No, but it runs so smoothly, so yeah, it's brilliant work. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, Yara, I love this so much. This is so great. I think two related questions about AI. I guess the first question is, like how your students feel about image generators. Teaching AI to my students, a lot of them are thinking about content and ethics, and especially our art students and designers who are thinking about their futures. So one, I like that starting with these speculative images that are generated. And then the second related question is how you feel about generative 3D models. I've been playing with Meshi recently, or these really quite sophisticated image to 3D model software, which will of course transform the way, like everything else, full of people in this kind of handcrafted production that you're so elegantly teaching your students. So I'm just kind of curious how you're thinking about AI in this work right now.
Yeah, thank you. I think, AI is something you cannot avoid. You have to teach and you have to learn, and you have to learn how to teach in this world where everybody's using these tools. So for me, it's an exciting opportunity to understand, okay, what is valued, what is easy to do, I use AI, in workflows so many everywhere. It makes things more efficient. I have nothing. It's a tool, you should use it, and it's pretty helpful. For the students, I think, again, we can use image to 3D. But the result, in my practice, you can never take the result, right? You know this, you need to edit it so much. And I feel like understanding what you need to edit from the result you get is a learning thing itself, right? Yeah. So I get the result, I know that it's not low poly, I know that it has issue, and learning how to fix the mesh, how to edit it down, how to remesh it and stuff like that, and reapply the texture and stuff like this is also something they get to learn. So if before they learn how to do it from scratch, now they learn how to edit it on an existing thing. So I'm a positive person. I'm maybe growing up in the Middle East makes me way too positive, but yeah, thank you for your question. We can continue this conversation and I'll leave it up to you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank